Well, welcome again to Clean Nuts, and this time we've got the Enfield at home and the Sprag clutch for the starting mechanism is broken. It's in here. Let's see what we can do with it. So off with the gear selector and off with the foot peg and attack the bolts to the outer case. Got a pan there ready because it will drop oil and the primary case oil will come out of there. They're just Allen key headed bolts. Just gently prising it off. Then I realised I'd left the alternator wiring still on, so disconnected that and off it comes. So then enough for leaning over, so I leant the bike over to get the clutch apart. 3 bolts on the top there, and that releases the pressure springs for the clutch. Take the clutch plates out. There's a pin in the middle which is actually the actuation pin, so careful not to lose that. Just took that nut off and release the tension on the chain tensioner. Well, day 2 of fixing the Sprag clutch, and it's raining, so it's not so bad working in the garage. So now we're trying to remove this, and we need a special tool. It's got a thread inside it, can you see it? It threads onto there, the bolt presses on here. We can see the damage there, see a tooth missing there. See that? So let's get that off. Screwing the special tool on. And a couple of wrenches. Actually different size bolts, got them the wrong way around. It really is tight. Come on. And there it is. Once you've cracked its grip, now there's a nut behind it. I'm using a box spanner and a piece of wood with a rag on to stop the thing turning round. You can't get that nut off because there's a keyway, a woodruff key in the end of the crank. So just try a bit of a persuader to get that out. It's quite a big nut, must be 24mm, something like that. There's a circlip holding the clutch basket on the shaft there. It's just out of alignment, so I just wanted to synchronise the gear so I can pull the chain and basket off. Again, we need another special tool because we're going to have to get the inner casing off. So this is a tool for removing the clutch, like a flywheel really. Don't know what you call it. The clutch basket mount. To the right of that shaft is a little bolt, look, and it goes straight onto that. And then there's 3 hexagon head bolts around the crankshaft at the front of the casing. Onto those next. So pull all 3 of those out, and that inner casing will come off with a bit of a tease. Now in here is the gears that take the drive from the starter motor down to the crank and through the Sprag clutch. And this is where the damage is. what's actually happened is the engine has backfired as it was being started, and so the piston has not reached top dead centre and started going back down, sending all the gears going from one direction to the other, and it's sheared the teeth off the gears. Look at that. Amazing. Well, there's the problem. Look at those teeth. Look at that. Amazing. It's nearly stripped bare. Another 3 or 4 missing there. So while I'm waiting for the parts to arrive, did a bit of a clean-up job, getting rid of all the gaskets and cleaning all the grease and things off the case. Hitchcock's parcel arrived, and in there was gaskets, the broken gears, and a new Sprag clutch. Not cheap. Now I tried to put it together, and there's some shims in between, and I put it together 3 or 4 times till I was happy with the end float. Then back on the bike, put those 3 bolts in round the crank, and that one nut to the right of the primary shaft. Had a visitor into the workspace. So let's put that little bolt in on the right. And the inner casing is virtually in at this point. So time to reinstall the primary chain and sprockets. I was taking that tool, the removal tool, off. Thinking about how it all went back together. Has to sort of go on together, the 2 of them. There's small splines on the right and big splines on the left. On with the big 24mm nut. Jammed it with a piece of timber. And tighten the gearbox input shaft, I suppose that is really. Put the clutch plates one by one back in. So clutch plate, friction plate, etc. And that before that circlip that holds the basket on had gone on. So on with the alternator. I kicked it over a few times, just make sure everything was going smoothly before I put the outer casing back on. Quite tricky getting the gasket lined up. So off it came again. There are some location pins. So in with all the hexagon head bolts. Wind all those in. Connect up the alternator wiring loom, and there's a breather pipe at the top of the primary case. Just wanted to push him back on. A couple of bits of housekeeping really. That's that hose just going on. Remove the fill plug and fill it with oil. So it just comes out the level plug at the bottom. So that was just put that level plug back in. And just nip it up. And the fill plug back in. And nip that up. Foot peg on and gear selector on, and starter motor to go back on. Bit fiddly really. Time for a new spark plug, makes all the difference. There she is, all fixed and running. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.